Paul Purcell. I'm from Savannah, Georgia right now, originally from Atlanta, and I've been with CHS for the past roughly 6 years. I'd been doing years and years of counterterrorism work, which sprang from risk management background in the hospitality industry, and the more work that I did with various public sector and private sector entities through my own private sector company, I began to realize that there was a big need for a better public sector, private sector partnership, and anyone who offered standardized training. And I looked around and talked to different people in the industry, and everybody pointed to CHS, and CHS had exactly what I wanted with the additional training, the networking, the liaison between various government agencies and private sector, and the availability of training and interacting with the experts and people in the field that were actually out making a difference. My background is in terrorism and natural disaster preparedness consulting. For several years I worked for the DeKalb County Office of Homeland Security in Georgia, doing critical infrastructure vulnerability assessments and everything from creating the protective plans to writing terror attack scenarios that people have to react to in the game planning and tabletop exercise levels. And after doing that for a while, I realized that they really didn't have as strong a grasp as they should have had on bringing in their key personnel in times of crisis. So I wrote a training manual called Disaster Prep 101, and that's now the basis for the CDP-1 program. So when I came seeking the CHS instruction and networking and everything else, I also brought something to contribute, which is now the CDP-1 program. The first reason somebody should join is because it's knowledge is power. And in the times in which we're living, we need more people with more knowledge and experience to be ready to fill the gaps that are created when people retire and change careers within the government, and as government changes and as our need changes and the threat changes. And a lot of the ways that people traditionally get this educational experience is by already being in the ranks. So it's kind of one of these catch-22 things. The only way to get the job is with experience, and the only way to get the experience is with the job. But it offers new people in the profession or industry, if you will, opportunities for education and to kind of come in and test which roads they want to travel, which direction they want to pursue with Homeland Security and protecting our country. And it also gives a level playing field for people with experience to help these newer people. And it also helps standardize the training and not necessarily credentialing so much, even though that exists, but the type of training, the depth of the material, the items that need to be in the educational material. It helps everybody come together on a level playing field and make a huge difference. And we're not going to see this kind of educational opportunity or venue created by the federal government. It has to come from private sector, and Dr. Blount did just that when he created CHS. For me, it was kind of two sides of one coin. I got an opportunity to teach. I teach, again, the CDP-1 program, but I had a real good class full of students, and we had a good time going over the material and prepping them for the test. But it also gives me an opportunity to learn, because there's updates and current events that I might not be able to keep up with when I'm at home, at work, and in my own little field, paying attention to what I have to pay attention to. It gives me a chance to catch up with the latest news on terrorism, the latest techniques on various elements of Homeland Security, and it's a good, even exchange, a mutual exchange where I get to offer input and receive education at the same time. So people that are in the industry that have been in it for a long time, they tend to get so focused on their own little silo that they don't realize how much other information is out there that they need to bring into what they're doing, and they need to reach outside the office that they're in and network with others and exchange ideas, exchange best practices, and this is a great venue for doing that. Thank you for doing this, because this kind of, especially after 9/11, this kind of information sharing had to happen, and it's great that people like him are putting together these things that are an example to the federal government and help set the stage and set the example for what needs to happen, and creates that level playing field for everybody can come together, exchange ideas, exchange practices, share knowledge, share direction, reaffirm each other's goals and commitments. Because when you are in a room full of other people who have the same goals and objectives as you, it kind of reaffirms what you're doing.